A young woman, charged with excessive unpaid traffic offences and contempt of court, was sentenced to 100 hours of community service. As part of her duties, it was mandated that she spend half her hours in the company of senior citizens. On this particular day, she was to visit an old man who lived alone in the city. The lady was told that his wife passed away many years ago, and he had never fully gotten over the loss. She entered his house, they exchanged pleasantries, and then he offered her a seat. She sat down, and the man began to talk. He talked about everything from the line of work he was once in, the countries he had traveled to, and recollections from his childhood. The woman had almost immediately switched off when he began to talk, and she contributed nothing to the conversation. She quickly became bored and ignored him even further. She rudely pulled out her phone and started messaging her friends, just killing time until she could get out of there. She couldn't care less about this man. She just wanted to be out with her friends. Anywhere but here. Then, in a rare moment when she chose to listen, she noticed that he kept talking about his wife and their daily routines. She put this down to him just being old and senile, so she thought she would just play along. He talked about how she works so hard at her 2 jobs and the time it takes to look after him and his children, which leaves her no time to live her own life. This made him sad, and he was hoping she would soon be able to experience all life has to offer once the kids were grown up. At this point, the lady was over this odd conversation, so she bluntly blurted out to the man that his wife was dead and he should stop talking about her. She thought he would have been taken aback by this, but in actual fact, he simply said, "Oh no, she's quite alive, and she's been here with us the whole time," as he looked to the side of the room. The woman suddenly felt very uneasy. "What?" she thought to herself. She looked in the direction he had gestured, and sure enough, as her vision adjusted to the darkness, a person came into view. It was indeed an old woman. However, she looked like she had been dead for some time. She couldn't believe what she was seeing. She got up out of her chair and slowly approached the body. She had to be sure. Was this really happening? She moved closer and looked for signs of life, when suddenly the old lady's eyes opened and her hand reached out and grabbed her. Her face then turned into a terrifying expression as the lady struggled to get free. She was frozen in place as the old lady exhaled, and dozens of black spores left her mouth and entered the lady's. Then, everything went dark. When her eyes opened, she looked back on her former body and smiled. She then went over to her husband and hugged him one last time. She left the house. She was free to travel the world, free to live the life she always wanted to.